welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to talk about my current planner setup. So I have posted a couple sneak peeks on Instagram that I have been using the Erin Condren Folio, and I've actually been using it with 5, although today I have 6 to show you that I have squeezed in there. I want to show you what I've been using, how I've been using it, the accessories that I've paired with it, as well as how carrying my life planner has changed because of the use of the folio. It's so thick. If you want to see the full details of the Erin Condren folios, what they look like, what they smell like, what they come with, what the prices are, I have a video on that, as well as a video on all of the insert options from Erin Condren, all the different petite planners. I'm not going through that today. Today is just about what I use and my system. So if you want to see the whole lineup and all the different options, I will link those videos below. But let's get into what I've been using and how I'm liking it. So you'll notice I have the planny pack on the outside of the folio. The planny pack is also offered by Erin Condren. She has a number of different colors. I've been dying to order the orange one, to be honest. I mean, I love orange. I love burnt orange. And ever since she came out with that one, I've been wanting it, but I already have 2 and I just really can't justify having any more. So when I first saw the folio, I thought, oh yeah, the size would work. But I thought I was gonna have to wrap this like elastic piece all the way around the outside of the folio and all the inserts. And I was like, I don't know if it's gonna stretch. Plus then I'd have to take it on and off every time I wanted to use my inserts, and that didn't really seem practical. And then my friend Jen suggested just putting it around the front cover. That way I can open it up and I can still use the inserts. Some of them I do take out of the folio when I write in them, and I'll get to that in a second, but I don't have to take my planny pack off. Now what's inside my planny pack is what goes with the inserts that I have in this folio. It's not like my whole slew of pens, my pen collection, like that would fit in a planny pack. So right now it is just all of the mild liner highlighters. It is some of the Faber-Castell pens, which I have talked about in a prior video. It is my adhesive tape roller, and I'll talk about how I use this. And then there's a whiteout in there too. I'm not gonna dig for it, but that is what I carry in my planny pack. I was gonna say that's all, but it's kind of a lot. It fills it up nicely. It's not too tight, but it's full. Inside, I have actually managed to get 6 inserts into this little guy. Now, 5 of them are from Erin Condren, and then 1 of them is from another shop, and it's a lot thinner than the Erin Condrens. I don't know that you could fit 6 of the petite planners in there. I think it might get a little tight. Mine's already sort of bursting at the seams and poking out the side a little bit, but it doesn't bug me. So just keep that in mind. And the way that I did that, because there are only elastics for 4 inserts, is I use what's called a jump band. And you can see it on the bottom here. All it is, it's another like circle elastic loop, and I slide it underneath all of the 4 inserts that are in there, and that is how I have the first one and the last one in there. And there's a lot of videos on how to use a jump band. If you're curious and want more details, just Google like how to use a jump band in a traveler's notebook and you'll find a ton of options. Okay, so like I said, I have 1 insert from another shop, and that is Oh Hello Stationery Co. She makes inserts in a couple of different sizes with some different options. Now the covers of the inserts you don't get to pick, which is fine because it's inside the folio. Like that doesn't really bother me. They're all black and white though, all the outside, just different patterns and different fonts. And the one I picked up is called the Project Tracker. But what I am going to use this for is for things related to the videos that I post on YouTube. After I post a video on YouTube, I have all these great intentions of sharing it in a lot of different places. And I usually do post it on Instagram, like on my story, and link it. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the only other place that I advertise my videos, and I want to get better about that. And I also want a place to track stats, so I'm going to use this for both of those. I got 2 of them actually thinking that I was going to use 1 for advertising and 1 for stats, but I don't want to carry 2 around, so I'm just going to do 1 on one page and 1 on the other, and then it'll just go faster, and now I have a backup. So this is in the A5 size. Now hers is a smidge taller than an A5, and it does stick out a tiny bit from the Erin Condren Folio. Now in her A5 traveler's notebooks that she offers, it fits perfectly and it doesn't poke out at all. So just something to keep in mind. If that is something that's really gonna bother you, then just know that. I may get the B6 size so that there's a little bit of extra wiggle room, but for me, I don't really care. All right, the next one I have is just a dot grid Erin Condren journal. And I have one of the Oh Joy ones. It's not my favorite pattern, but the Oh Joy ones are the only ones on the Erin Condren website right now with dot grid on the inside. Now I think they're going to do other ones like the Woven Wonders, or I don't actually know what the plan is. For now, I have the Oh Joy one because it was the only dot grid option. And what I'm using it for right now is my time tracker and my lettering challenge. So I'm using it sort of like I used to use my bullet journal, but I tried to do a lot of other stuff in my bullet journal that you'll see I have moved to somewhere else in this folio, but this is still something that I need to set up myself, and so that is how I've been using it. The reason I have the double-sided tape roller thingy in my planny pack is because it bleeds. This paper is not as magical as the normal Erin Condren paper, and it's not as magical as most bullet journal paper. So when I use the mild liner highlighters to mark my time tracking, it bleeds through to the other side. I will glue 2 pages together. Now, yes, does that mean I'm getting through them faster? I get it, but they're only $8 and they're accessories. So if you get 4 or more accessories in your order, they're 15% off. So they're not that expensive, and I don't feel bad gluing pages together because it's something that really works for me. And that is the first one in my folio. Now, this is the only one that I will take out and write on outside of the folio, and that's mostly just for the lettering. I just don't feel like I can get a good enough like surface to write, if that makes sense, to actually practice my lettering if I leave it in the folio. Okay, the next one that I have in there is the Erin Condren Wellness Journal, and I have posted pictures about this on Instagram of how I've been using this, but I switch it up a tiny bit. So at the top, normally, here's a blank one. It has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. I don't need to necessarily track that. Like, I plan that, right, in my meal planner, which we'll get to. I plan my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I don't need to actually write that down again. Plus, I actually think breakfast and snacks, like, those kind of either are the same every day or it's just kind of what I'm feeling. I really only need to plan lunches and dinners. So I changed it to calories, protein, carbs, and fat, and I've been tracking what I've been eating, even if it's not great. Okay, except for this day, I didn't even attempt to track. And then on this side, I've been doing sort of my more fitness stuff. So what's the workout that I'm doing? What are my Apple Watch statistics, my steps, my sleep, and my water? And this one I don't take out to write in it because it's just a couple of numbers. It's not anything significant. And I just like having the accountability, having a place to write this down, being forced to write it down, and then me forcing myself to share it on social media keeps me accountable to tracking my meals, tracking my food, and wearing my Apple Watch and actually getting my steps in. Okay, the next one I have in here is the Erin Condren Meal Planner, and that just goes hand in hand with the Wellness Journal. I have to meal plan, otherwise I'm gonna eat out, and that's not good for my wallet or my diet. I use this one just as is. The only thing I wish it didn't have a Sunday start. I wish it was a Monday start, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. I really love this. I love the meal prep strategy section. Okay, the next one I have in here is the monthly. Now, this doesn't start till 2019, so it's kind of just hanging out in my folio, even though I'm not using it yet. But what I'm going to use it for is challenges. So on the monthly layout, I'm going to do a doodle challenge. Now, if you watch any of my bullet journal videos, I tried to do this in my bullet journal. And I think part of the reason bullet journaling didn't work well for me was I didn't like having to set it up. It's just a lot of work. And if I don't make time to set it up, and I make time to do other things. I prioritize other things. So why couldn't I prioritize setting up my bullet journal? It was just too much work for me and too much of a perfectionist. And I feel like you need a little bit more of an artsy vibe. Not that I'm not creative and artsy. I don't know how to describe it. It just wasn't really, it didn't work for me. So I'm going to use this instead, and it already has the monthly all set up. And then the line pages in the back I'm going to use to practice my lettering. So the lettering layout that I've been doing over here in the dot grid, I'm going to do here in the line section and just do 1 week per page. What does that mean for my dot grid? Well, now it's just gonna be the time tracker. I might try and think if there's something else I wanna put on the opposite page of the time tracker, or what I'll do is instead of gluing pages together, I'll just do the time tracker on one side, nothing on the back, and then the time tracker, nothing, so on and so forth. And the last one here is the travel journal. And I have debated, do I really need the travel journal in my folio all the time? And I've decided that the answer is yes, and that's for a couple of reasons. The first one is I'm actually not taking this folio to work every day. It's actually just sitting on my desk. Sort of defeats the purpose of an on-the-go folio. I don't need it at work. I just need it at home, and I need it to update things and do challenges and meal plan and stuff at home. And so if I'm not carrying it every single day, then is it that big of a deal that the travel journal's in there? And the only time that I will travel with it is when I'm traveling, and then I will need the travel journal. How many times did I say travel? I figured I would go ahead and put it in there. The other reason is it'll remind me to continue to plan and update what's coming up, what are my trips coming up. It'll also keep me excited if it's in there and I can flip to it and see what trip is upcoming. I think that it'll just keep me motivated and keep me excited, especially since a lot of stuff in my folio is related to my health and fitness. I think that knowing my next trip will help. I haven't put anything in there yet. So my next trip is actually home for the holidays, but that's not a trip that I'm like planning for per se. We don't really have any plans. Like, it's the holidays when I hang out with my family, and I will memory keep for that trip more just like in my life planner. planner. I don't need to memory keep in a travel journal. So my next one is actually back in Chicago for the Chicago Planner Conference in February. And I guess I could put some stuff in there, maybe start a packing list. That seems really premature. But also I don't know what date I'm actually gonna arrive. It sort of depends. I wanna either go early or stay late to hang out with my mom a little bit, and I don't know which end I'm gonna cap that, so I haven't actually put that trip in yet. But going forward, I wanna keep it updated and know like which trips are coming up, and I can have it all filled out. So that is how I am using the Erin Condren Folio. Now, like I said, it just sits on my desk, and that's okay. So in the morning, I will wake up and I will do my challenges. I will track my meals and my Apple Watch from the day before. I will update my time tracker from the night before. What did I do the evening before? And then maybe some of what I did in the morning or what I plan to do in the morning, and then I will wrap it up and set it on my desk and go to work. Now, because I am not taking as much to work as I used to, if you watch one of my prior Plan With Me videos, I've been using this leather case from Etsy that held a lot of stuff. It held all my mild liners. I kept those in there. It held my tape roller thing. It held my whiteout. I also kept my bullet journal in there. I also kept my deluxe monthly that I was using for YouTube planning, which I've sort of switched to a digital method. That is another story for another day. So basically what's happened is the amount of stuff I'm taking to work has drastically decreased, which is totally appropriate because I don't need all that stuff with me every day at work. So I have let the leather bag sit and retire for a second. I still love it. It's still a favorite. And when I travel, I still might use it. What I might do is put my life planner and my folio in there, not use the planny pack, put the mild liners back in their pocket, so on and so forth. For every single day, I have gone back to the Erin Condren Folio. Now, when this first came out, and I talked about this in my very first YouTube video ever. Whoa. I talked about my love-hate relationship with this because I wanted to store my favorite petite planners in it because I think that was their original intent for this pocket here was petite planners. And at the time I was loving both the wellness and the meal planner, and it didn't really fit both that and my life planner and all my pens and close properly. But I think I have found folio peace. Also, they're both called folios. I just realized that, but they're two very different things. So this is the medium-sized folio that is meant for the life planner. I also want to order the large one for a laptop case. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to order it on Black Friday as a gift. So behind this, like, it's not hard. It's not like, I don't know what to call it. It's like foam. It's kind of thick, but it's not, it's still a little flexible. That's where I have my life planner, just my everyday life planner that I use. You guys have seen that, my Plan With Me's. And then in the front, I have some of my most used tools. So I have the little washi cutter that I have used in a Plan With Me. I'm still working on the perfect touch, but what I've been told is as soon as I master the perfect touch, this guy is amazing. So I'm still working with it. And then I have that in like the pen slot, and then I have all my pens in this pocket that they meant for the petite planner. This way I can carry a lot of pens at the same time. Yes, do I carry 4 of the same pen? Yes, because you never know when one is gonna run out. So you always have to have backups. So I usually carry at least a couple of my favorite permanent and a couple of my favorite matte pen. And then in this little pocket, I have a sticky note pad. This is from Oh Hello Stationery. And then I have a little cutter. This is from Plan Camp. It's like a metal washi card that I use to cut more papery washi. And then I have my Cutter Bee scissors that I absolutely love. And then I love this little pocket. I feel like you always end up with these like random pieces of paper, things that you want to reference. And it's not necessarily things you reference every day, but it's things that you do want to have close by. And I used to store them in the pocket of my life planner, but I would forget about them. I would forget that they were there, and then whatever I was trying to keep up with like just would fall by the wayside. So I love having this little pocket for papers of things that I'm working on, whether it's like a brochure or it's from a notepad, or I ripped it out of a notebook. It's right there in my face. Every time I open up this folio to get to my planner, the papers are staring me in the face saying, look at me. So what do I have in there right now? I have this tracker for the Teamy Detox that I'm working on. It has like a little where you check it off. Let's be real, that's part of the biggest reason this is motivating me to complete it, because I get to check it all off. And then I have, this is my Vlogmas schedule. I have it all folded up so you can't see it, but I have this so that I can check off what I filmed and what I've edited, what's ready to go. I have my Black Friday shopping list that I've been working on. I wrote this in a notebook and I just worked it out, put it in here. And then I've been meaning to sort of like, not reorganize my stickers. That's the wrong word. Purge them, look through them. I have been meaning to do a sticker organization series for a long time. It has been on the list for a lot of months, and then it keeps getting pushed for other things that jump up that month that are more important. So I apologize if you are dying to see those sticker organization videos. They're coming next year. I promise I will get to them. But before I do them, I want to sort of purge my stickers and make sure that I'm showing things that I actually use and love, and I'm not just flipping through sticker books to flip through sticker books, if that makes sense. So I made this to-do list. These are all of my sticker binders. That's so embarrassing. And I want to just flip through them before I flip through them with y'all. I like having all these papers right here where I can easily see them and access them. So I have fallen back in love with this folio. Kind of wish I had waited and gotten the hexagon cover, but that's okay. I will probably get the hexagon in the large for my computer. That is my current planner setup, how I've been using my folio and the Life Planner folio carrier. Really, those names are very confusing. And I've sort of gotten a couple questions about what's your 2019 lineup, and so far, that's my 2019 lineup. That's the plan. If something changes drastically between now and the end of the year, I will be sure to update you during Vlogmas. Otherwise, that's it. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and every day during December for Vlogmas. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. Double-sided, not double-sided. This folio with me to work every day. A squirrel. And sometimes it's not things it's not